Welcome to Kevin Brewer's Math 70 hybrid class. This is section 8.2, so I'm kind of leaving it here for you to look at and maybe copy down. You might need to do that periodically. Just pause the video and write down what you need to. Section 8.2, we're looking at factoring. When we factor is actually kind of the opposite of the distributive property. So it's kind of going the other direction. So what we want to do here is I see two terms, and I'm looking at an 8 and a 12. And I'm going to think, what number divides evenly into both 8 and 12? And the biggest number that I have is 4. So I'm going to put a 4 on the outside. And 4 times what is 8? 2. And there's an x. Times what is 12? 3. And it's actually a negative 12, so that would be a negative 3. So now let's think about this. If I were to go 4 times 2x, I would get 8x, and if I go 4 times negative 3, I would get minus 12. So going the other way, this would be distributing, but going the direction that we went, this is factoring. So this is actually our answer. 4 times 2x minus 3. In problem B, I look at a 15 and a 12. What number divides evenly into 15 and 12? That would be a 3. But I also notice in this one that I have some x terms. I have an x squared and an x. So I want to pull out as many x's as I can. So I'm going to pull out an x. And then in parentheses, 3 times what is 15? 5. And x times what is x squared? X. 3 times what is negative 12? That would be a minus 4. And x times what is x? Just a 1. So in this case, 3x times negative 4 is negative 12x. 3 times 5 is 15. X times x is x squared. And this is, if we were to check by distributing, that is our final answer. Let's go down here to problem C. Here I have 3 terms. What goes into 8, 2, and 10? Looks like in this case it's just going to be a 2. And do I have an x in every pile? Yes, I do. So 2 times what is 8? 4. X times what is x to the 4th? X to the 3rd. So there's 1 x there and 3 x's there. X to the 3rd times x is x to the 4th. 4 times 2 is 8. 2 times what is negative 2? Negative 1. So this one is optional. And then x times what is x squared? That would be another x. X times x is x squared. And then 2x times 5 is 10x. So let's check this. 2x times 4x to the 3rd. 2 times 4 is 8. X times x to the 3rd is x to the 4th. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. X times x is x squared. And 2x times 5 is 10x. A lot of times it's much easier for me to see it going this way. So a lot of problems, I'm not real big on checking your work in the sense of like plugging things in and checking. I just feel like if you do it right going down that you should be doing it correctly, but this is kind of an odd process. So my brain really works the other direction. I'm really good at distributing. I'm not as good at factoring. It doesn't come quite as natural. So I like to distribute to check to see if I can get back to my answer. In problem D, again I have 3 terms. 1, 2, 3. You can tell they're separated because there's a subtraction and an addition. This is a little bit more complicated. I've got my number here. Looks like 3 goes into 3, 9, and 12. I also have a pile of a's. A to the 5th, a to the 3rd, and a squared. So I pull out as many a's as I can. The smallest pile is a squared. So I'm going to leave that there. And then another one that I have then is my pile of b's. So I've got a b, and a b. Looks like I can pull a b out of every single pile. So this first one's kind of funny because 3 times 1 is 3. So I kind of have a 1. That's an optional 1. A squared times what is a to the 5th? That's going to be a to the 3rd. And then I already pulled my b out. 3 times what is negative 9? Well, that would be a negative 3. A squared times A is a to the third, and I already pulled out my B. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 4 is 12. And A squared times what is A squared? It's just I pulled it out already, and I pulled my B out. So if I look at this, 4 times 3A squared B is 12A squared B. So even though I have that big gap because I put my parentheses in first, that's my answer. Now I kind of have all those colors there. It's a little goofy looking. I'm going to rewrite that just so that it looks a little bit nicer. 3A squared B, a to the third minus 3A plus 4. And there's a hidden 1 there that we can have in there. If that helps you, you don't have to do that. So again, if I'm going to check my work, 3 times 1 is 3. A squared times a to the third gives me a to the fifth, and B is right there. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. A squared times a is a to the third, and there's my B. And then I only have a 4. I see my a squared B matches with a squared B, so I just go 4 times 3 is 12. So that looks like that's, if I distribute all those, that looks like that is my final answer. Factoring.